Hello everybody, welcome to a new season of SNR. My name is Kieran McGinley and today it's round 1 in Australia at Melbourne. So let's go through the team lineup then. Mercedes, we've got Zippo and Rocket. In Red Bull we've got Geordie and the Gort. At Ferrari we've got the championship winner last time out, Darren Sinclair, and Titium joining up. Shagem keeps his Force India seat and he's joined by ESP Krusper. Bravo and Heffy team up in Williams, Heffy moving from McLaren. AJ is in McLaren this season alongside Chelsea Boy, who remains at the team. Rocketoni and Heemkarl join Toro Rosso for this season. Jensen and Brentford new driver to this season, he's joining up at Haas. DK and Spark Bobster are joining up at Renault, Spark Bobster moving from Ferrari this year of course, and White Samba and Raikkonen joining up in Sauber. So there are your team lineups for Season 2 of SNR. And of course, it's a very exciting time. We've got a couple of new drivers. We've got a couple of reserve drivers already in this session. So let me just get that up and I'll tell you all the reserve drivers. So Captain Pants is a reserve driver. He's in for ESP Krusper, and also Daibush is in for the Gort for the opening round of this season. And of course, a new season means new drivers at the scene, including Brentford Boy making his debut this season. I want to welcome him along to SNR. Hope he has a good first season out. Other than that though, we've got the same familiar faces. AJ to the P will surely be hoping to mount a title charge. If you missed the off-season championship, please go and have a look back. It was 3 classic races, 25% races with a one-shot qualifying. And AJ to the P, well, he was a dominant figure in that series. Not to spoil it or anything, but do go along. There were high octane races that well deserve a watch. And if those races are anything to go by, then we have a serious title contender on our hands. Let's of course remember that Darren Sinclair is Season 1 champion, and he'll be hoping to carry that momentum forward into this season where he'll be driving for the Scuderia. Now the Scuderia didn't have a great season last time out. They were towards the bottom of the table in the Constructors, so they'll be hoping for a much better season, and hopefully they'll be able to get their way back to the top of the Constructors standings. Meanwhile though, Chelsea Boy stays at McLaren for this season. Good partnership between those two, and Chelsea Boy will be hoping for a title charge again this season. And AJ to the P also at McLaren, Chelsea Boy's teammate. Expect McLaren to be a very dominant team this year. They've got 2 fantastic drivers on board with them. It's going to be very hard to beat McLaren, but anything can happen in Formula 1, and it normally always does. So we're going to go on to the hot lap now and take you around the track for this round 1 at Melbourne Park. At Albert Park, I should say. Albert Park. It's not Melbourne Park. Anyway, here's the hot lap. So here we are then, at Albert Park. A fantastic street circuit to open the season on. Make sure you get the turn out of 16 absolutely spot on, otherwise it's going to ruin your flying lap. The start line is all the way down here. That's when the lap starts, so it's crucial to get that exit right. Heading into turn 1 now, be careful not to lock up. Get that exit of 2 right as well. It's very important there. You don't want to oversteer on the curb on the outside there. Now onto the second DRS straight here as you head towards turn 3. Make sure you brake just between the sort of 75 meter mark as you head into turn 3. Into turn 4 now, don't take too much curb on the left hand side or the right hand side either. And as you head through turn 5, keep away from all of the curbs there to get the maximum and optimum traction. Heading up into turn 6 and turn 7, turn into turn 6 nice and easy there. Take the curb on turn 7 and nice and smooth on the steering wheel round turn 8 here. Open it up and take to the left hand side as you head towards turn 9. Brake about 75 metres before the corner once again as you head through turn 10. Now it's important to keep the steering wheel as smooth as possible heading through now, as you could that now drift towards the right hand side now into turn 11, drop down to 6th gear, and then it's flat out through turn 12. Now it's overtaking opportunities if you can get the exit of 12 absolutely spot on. Heading up into turn 13, very easy to lock up here as I did on the front right. Make sure you get it turned in nice and early there. Into turn 14 then, it's, just lift off, drop a gear as you head now into turn 15. Easy to lock up here as well, don't collect the curb or the grass on the right hand side. And again, get that curb away on turn 16 there, get the optimum traction out of there, DRS wide open, and it's the longest time before you cross the start finish line, but that's a lap of Albert Park. Now it's on to the race. Well, here we are at the start of a brand new season, overcast skies, which is very rare to be experiencing at Melbourne. But of course, we come to a street circuit famed for its venue. First coming here in 1986, Alan Prost took the very first race win here. And in 2017, in the real-life race, of course, Sebastian Vettel won the race. We're looking here, Lewis Hamilton took pole position with a 1:22.1. So it'll be interesting to see how many people can actually match that, maybe even beat it during this session. No pressure then, guys. But a new season means there's no one really to focus on at the moment. We have Jensen here in Haas, who is the first man out onto track. Rockatoni is out there second on the track, and we'll see on another outlap as Jensen slightly taps the wall there. Bit of pre-season, first race of the season nerves there, I think, but yeah, we should get relaxed as we go through. Let's have a look on board with Rockatoni then, who was in Mercedes last season, now with Toro Rosso. Of course, all the cars are exactly the same performance, but it's more fun to know that they're not like that. Anyway then, Jensen in the Haas. In the pause menu, is he? As I'm seeing there, did I see a drop of rain there? Is it starting to rain? I think it is. I think that's why everybody's getting out now. I think there's actually drops of rain on the circuit. Let's have a look at the camera on board. Yes, there is. It is starting to rain. Well, okay, we might only get one shot here of setting a lap time. So Jensen's jumped on the case, realised there's rain coming, and has got to get on there first. So he has the best chance here of setting a good lap time. So Jensen now rounds the final corner. Turn 16 is always difficult to get right with the traction, but down the main straight he goes. DRS still open, so the officials haven't turned it off just yet, as he'll now come into turn number 1 and 2. Very easy to run wide through turn 1, and then we come on to the second DRS straight, heading towards turn 3. Of course, Gutierrez and Alonso colliding together in 2016. Spectacular crash. Luckily Alonso was okay, albeit with a couple of broken ribs. Now we're heading through turns 3, 4 and 5 here. Now through turn number 5 now, as we head towards turns 6 and 7. Very easy to cut the curb here and invalidate your lap time. But Jensen here is having a good lap so far. Hasn't made any huge mistakes, but as you can see, the rain is starting to get heavier and heavier as we now head in towards turns 9 and 10. Again, on turn 9, very easy to cut the corner there and invalidate your lap time, as now you've got to keep the steering wheel as light as possible. This does not count as a turn for some reason, but there we go. Into the kink of 11 and 12. Flat out pretty much through here as you head into the race. It really is a fantastic corner if you get it right. If you get it wrong though, you are thrown out wide and maybe even into the wall. As we head into turn 13 now. Keep that traction in. Turn 14, where Daniel Ricciardo lost it in qualifying, in the actual qualifying event in 2017. We head now around turn 15 and then through 16. Jensen will have the first lap time on the board. Let's see what that sort of lap time he's going to set as he heads towards the line. We're about halfway down the straight before it happens, and he sets a 1:28.6. Now let's ride on board with Rockatoni if we can. As Rockatoni sets a 1:24.9. Good lap from him, and Darren Sinclair sets a 1:24.3. Now we've got drivers coming across the line now. I believe we have AJ to the P there, setting a, well, he's 9/10 behind, so it's a 1:25, that's for sure. Let's have the fastest laps here as they're coming across the line. Chelsea Boy then rounding the final few corners as Heemcar goes 5th, 1:28.2. Geordie Davey there, 1:25.8, as drivers are struggling in these conditions. Now here we go. Chelsea Boy going down this straight now. Start line is always a long way down. Chelsea Boy sets a 1:26.0, so the track is getting worse and worse. Those who started early are getting the benefit here, as we've got Heffy. Heffy's retired from the session and coming out of the last corner there. He must have just lost the back end. He's into the wall and he has not set a lap time. That's how treacherous it is, as we see there. As, I'm not sure who that was. We'll see as he crosses the line, will we? I have no idea who that was. Was that... no, I have no idea who that was. As we have Shug M there setting a 1:26.9. We then have... Oh, as Shug M goes wide as well there. These conditions catching everybody out. As we'll have a look at DK here, who's on a flying lap. Captain Pants as well. Going around, but as you'll see... the drivers are going to struggle out there. Invader Zippo is on a flying lap, but he comes into the pits now as we have yellow flags in Sector 3. But no idea who it is. It's Rocket Queen who's gone off. He's gone off on an adventure with the wet track here. It's going to be very difficult to see anybody set a faster lap time than Darren Sinclair's 1:24.3. As Captain Pants there runs very wide, but he might as well keep going because these tyres, they're going to be the fastest they possibly can be. As we see Bravo Wolf out of the session, and he has retired, so he sees no point. He and Carl has done exactly the same thing. These drivers see no point in continuing this qualifying session. We'll see here someone going out of the pit lane here. That's interesting. Is that someone going on to the intermediates there? Maybe we have aboard Titium, who sets a 1:28.5 on the super soft tyres. Interesting move there from Titium. As we have Raikkonen here, who's coming out. He's coming into the pits. We do have someone out on track. It is Brentford. Brentford is out on track, and he's on the super soft tyres. Does he know something we don't? As Invader Zippo here is coming out of the pit lane. I believe he's on the intermediate tyres. He's quickly flicked over to the ultra soft, but we still have drivers going out there, which is an interesting move here. I wasn't expecting anybody to actually set any more lap times. Rocket Tony has retired from the session, as has Darren Sinclair, so they feel continuing the session. As my my PlayStation there decides to have a little bit of a moment, but we'll see White Samba here. Geordie Davies retired from the session. He's qualified in P4 right now. As we'll see here Brentford see what he can do. Spark Bobster's also out there. And these guys then, as Brentford trying to go out with the super soft tyres. We'll have a see how that works and what sort of lap time he's going to set here. As this will be his only lap of the session, you would think. At the moment, it's only Brentford and Spark Bobster. They've got the track to themselves at this moment in time, unless someone comes out. Captain Pants and the Gort and also Invader Zippo also out on track. Interesting that no one's gone for the intermediate tyres yet. That is an interesting call because you could probably get a faster time than a 1:29 on the intermediates. Maybe I've got it all wrong, but these guys seem to know what they're doing. As Spark Bobster's heading towards the line now. Brentford Boy starts his lap. Spark Bobster then's on his out lap, and he will see. Well, let's see what traction he gets out of the final corner. You can see there, that's normally in fifth. And Spark Bobster's lost the back end. Into the wall he goes, and that's the risk of going out onto a wet track with the ultra soft tyres. It's just losing that back end and losing the entire car itself. So Spark Bobster will not set a lap time. Brentford Boy then just needs to set a lap time. He knows he can do it now, as he'll go wide, take a Max Verstappen line to get as much grip as possible. Chelsea Boy's retired from the session, sees no point in carrying on. He's in 6th place. AJ to the P then is on an out lap, so AJ's out there right now. That's an interesting call, but don't let me stop you, AJ. As Brentford here heading through turns 11 and 12. As we're heading now down towards turn 13, it's very important now to get the line absolutely spot on. As we see now Brentford going around the final few corners now. Just keep it on the track now. Set that lap time. That's all he needs to do now. I say that's all he needs to do, but on dry tyres, on a wet track, he's doing a superb job out there right now. As Invader Zippo in the track, as he stops to let Brentford Boy through, but right on the racing line. That's not ideal, but Brentford Boy will come across the line, and he sets a 1:33.0. 1:33.0 as Shug M retires from the session, and he's into the wall as well. So that is coming out of turns 11 and 12. So that's almost sort of Timo Glock, as we see another car out there. Is that Captain Pants? It is Captain Pants, but he's on a different part of the circuit. As you can see here, it's just treacherous. Invader Zippo's off now as well, as he retires from the session. We'll have the Gort here. He's on a lap, and he'll come around the final corner. Gets the back end, loses it, taps the wall, but if he just keeps going, he might be able to set a lap time, and he does. He's just trying to push the car on, and sets a 1:33.9 and qualifies in 13th place as he just crashes the car into the wall. Titium there qualifies in 10th place. So at the moment, he'll be starting on the super soft tyres. The Gort has retired from the session. White Samba in 14th, DK 17th, as Rocket Queen was disqualified from the session. So that could only be that the game thought he parked in a dangerous location. So he will start at the back. Titian then, is he going for another lap? He's set a 1:25.8 as he runs wide going through turn 1. Him and Brentford and also AJ are the only cars out on track right now. AJ now heading towards turn 13 and 14. So through turn 13 AJ goes. And what sort of lap time is he going to set? We'll be able to see as he comes through turn 14, now coming up to 15. As you can see, the treacherous conditions just got to those tyres, and they're not putting in the performance anymore. AJ decides to abandon the lap. Maybe he thought the rain was going to stop and improve, but it's only got worse as intermediates are the tyres of choice for now. Titian then in 10th place. Is he on another lap? I doubt it if he's running wide there. We've got a minute of the session left, but we're not going to have anyone sitting another lap, I don't think. AJ has retired from the session, as we see Jensen, Brentford and White Samba all haven't retired from the session yet, so they can't get out onto track now. So Titian is the only man out there who can set a lap time, if he wants to, but I doubt it if he's going 90 miles an hour heading through 12 and 13 and making his own line there. But this is it then. This will be your session and who is on pole. There we go. DRS is finally disabled, which means it's definitely time for intermediates. Good call by the FIA there when we had about 5 retirements from the session. And but there we go. Titian there running off the track and retires from the session. You can only assume there. He's reversing it though. Reversing it back onto track as he does retire from the session. So that is it then. Darren Sinclair picks up where he left off and will take pole position for round 1 of SNR. Well, it was all about being the first out there, and Darren Sinclair takes pole position from Rockatone, AJ to the P. Then we have Geordie Davey, Bravo Wolf, Chelsea Boy, Raikkonen, Shug M, Heem Carl and Titian, who will be able to start on those super soft tyres. Further down the grid we've got Jensen, Brentford, The Gort, White Samba, Heffy, Spark Bobster, DK, Captain Pants, Invader Zippo and Rocket Queen at the bottom. Coming up the race after this edit. So then, here we go then. 5 lights for season 1. It's lights out and away we go. Let's see what the starts are like. We've got the Renault back there getting a very good start as they're all heading towards turn 1. 20 cars are going to try and filter through. The Ferrari here tries to get away, and White Samba has been disqualified. So we've got carnage there as well as a Force India goes for a spin. Is that Shug M? It was Shug M. And Jensen's been involved in an incident as well. He's lost his front wing. And Shug M has got himself a 5-second penalty for a severe collision. So Shug M here, has he lost a front wing as well? Well, it looks damaged, that's for sure. And he'll try to limp his way back to the pit lane, as does Jensen. Hectic start from the two of them there. Meanwhile then, AJ has got himself up into 2nd place as he started from 3rd. Chelsea Boy's up into 5th, and we have Chelsea Boy here trying to defend now from Raikkonen. As it stands there, there's Darren Sinclair leading, AJ to the P, Rockatone, Geordie Davey, Chelsea Boy. Then we have Raikkonen, Bravo Wolf, Heem Carl, Titian, and we've got Captain Pants here who's dropping down the field, and he's made a mistake somewhere, I think, as we'll have now some of the data here as we've got Rocket Queen running wide there, and Brentford has retired from the session, as has Spark Bobster, and I'm trying to figure out what to do here. Spark Bobster and Brentford Boy have collided into each other, have they? Well, they're parked to the side of the track there, so it's race over for those two. Bravo Wolf then on the back of Raikkonen here, as we've got a mighty battle here. Heem Carl is also on the back of Bravo Wolf. Seeing drivers in new cars is always going to be off-putting. Got to remember that Heem Carl is in a Toro Rosso this season. That's going to throw me off a couple of times, so be prepared for that. As we've got Shug M into the pits now to repair that front wing of his. Rockatone then trying to chase down AJ to the P as Darren Sinclair tries to pull away. AJ to the P is in 2nd, Rockatone 4th, Geordie Davey 4th, sorry. Chelsea Boy in 5th, but he's going to try and make that up as we've got a good race on our hands here at the moment. Hectic first lap, as it always is at the start of a new season, but here we go then. As we've got the Sauber there lurking in the background, looking out for a mistake maybe. We've got Bravo Wolf then, the Williams, trying to chase down Raikkonen. As we'll have a look now, we've got Geordie Davey as well, trying to hold off from Chelsea Boy. As the Gort there has been involved in something, has he? As Rocket Queen as the Gort there. Yes, he has been involved in an incident, and he finds himself dropping back in the field. Meanwhile then, Heffy, new team this year for Williams, as he'll now try and overtake DK going into turn 13. No dice so far though, as we see Captain Pants here on Rocket Queen going down the inside. Has he made it move? No, he hasn't. He's missed the corner there, runs spectacularly wide and loses out so much time there. Meanwhile then, Bravo Wolf on the back of Raikkonen now, and what sort of move can he make, as we have then Bravo Wolf trying to make his way through, and Darren Sinclair's lap of 125 there is faster than the lap in the race, in the actual race in 2017, as we see Chelsea Boy there right on the back of Geordie Davey, as he looks to try and find a way past. Meanwhile then, Heffy going down the inside of DK, and I think he rather pushed him off the track. He's let DK back through, so that's good sportsmanship there, but he's got to try and do that all over again. Meanwhile then, Bravo Wolf on the back here, DK trying to defend from Heffy, and Heffy down the inside, surely not, going into turn 6. Down the inside he goes into turn 6. Has he made the move stick? No. We've got DK still on the outside there. The two of them fighting for position as they make contact coming through at turn number 8 there into 9 and 10. What's it going to be like, as DK there, I believe, has lost out on the position there, and he has, but it's not over yet then, because DK's got the position back. That's incredible driving. You got an incredible line through there. But they've got to be careful now, because Invader Zippo's right on the back of them as well, as Zippo there, starting from the back of the grid, has got himself up into 12th place in this battle then, as Heffy starts to fall back from from DK, as DK loses the back end slightly coming out of 13. That's going to compromise him going through 14. It's a very flat out section. He runs wide again, and this is allowing Heffy to catch up again. He will be in the DRS zone this time around, so let's see how he gets this last turn right, as DK runs wide again. This is all just too tempting for Heffy to try and have a go. Rocket Queen comes into the pits, but we're going to stay on board with Heffy here for now, as we see up ahead we've got Chelsea Boy making a move on Geordie Davey there, and Chelsea Boy loses the back end slightly, but Geordie Davey's got to be careful here, because now look at this train behind him. This is the battle now for 4th place with Chelsea Boy included, and Chelsea Boy will try and get away, but Geordie Davey here is under threat from Raikkonen, who's also under threat from Bravo Wolf and Heemkarl, as Bravo Wolf there locks up going into turn number 9 there, through turn 10, and then we've got this straight that's not a straight, as Jensen has retired from the session. He has crashed out of this race. We'll go jump back on board now with Geordie Davey as he continues to lead this train around. Raikkonen here is going to try a move now. Surely he's going to try a move going into turn number 13 here, as he'll stay behind for now, maybe waiting for DRS, as Titium retires from the session, and he's out. Titium is out. Now has he done a Timo Glock there and just gone over the curb there and lost it into the wall for, well, whatever happened there? Titium is now out of the race. Meanwhile then, further up ahead, we still have this battle here, as Geordie Davey trying to hold off from Raikkonen here. Raikkonen has to also try and hold off from Bravo Wolf here. So look at this as they're going into turn 1 here. We've got such a battle going on here. Rocketoni also is not that far ahead. This could quite easily turn into the battle for 3rd place, and it covers all the way down to Heemkarl in 8th place. So we're going to have to try and keep a good eye on this battle here, because this is slowly turning into the battle for 3rd place. Chelsea Boy is in 4th there. Geordie Davey is in 5th. Raikkonen 6th. Bravo Wolf 7th, and Heemkarl is there in 8th place. They're all on the ultra soft tyres, and they're managing to try and find a way away from DK there. Meanwhile, Bravo Wolf is right on the rear wing of Raikkonen here, as they're going to try and head into turn 9 now. Is they going to try and move? No, he's not. Stays behind for now, and now we've got the straight that's not a straight. We've got Rocketoni going through the picture, and then we've got the 3 of them here, Raikkonen, Bravo Wolf and Heemkarl, going through the corner that's not a corner. Now we head through turns 11 and 12. Not really an overtaking place there. If you're brave enough, it can be, but you'd have to be a very mad man to do that. We see further up ahead then, it's all shaping up to be a great battle, especially in this first stint, as we've got Heemkarl behind there trying to have a go, as Chelsea Boy there picks him up a 3-second time penalty, trying to get away from Geordie Davey, as we're all going on to the straight now. Does Geordie Davey get DRS on Chelsea Boy here, as Rocketoni pits in from 2nd place, Jordy Davey does not get DRS, so Raikkonen here is now going to try and close in on Jordy Davey. He will even more now as Chelsea Boy tries to find a way through and just find a way away from the pack trying to go past him. Well, you'll see here, this battle between the four of them may be decided in the pits as Bravo Wolf takes a slightly wider line there to try and get on the back of Raikkonen even more. We've got Bravo Wolf here, will be getting just as frustrated as Himkar behind him. And when you're in a train like this, it's very frustrating and you just want the battling to be done. As we've got Bravo Wolf here on the back of Raikkonen and stays behind him. It's all about patience when you're in a train like this. More often than not, a driver's going to make a mistake. As we see further back here, a battle between the Gort and Rockatoni. The Gort finds a way past Rockatoni as Rockatoni has just exited the pits, and he won't like that one bit now as he's going to try and move round the outside. Is he trying to go into turn number 9 as we've got the straight that's not a straight now, as I'll hover over that battle just to check the times between them. And we've got the Gort here being defensive against Rockatoni, but if he's not careful, that's going to compromise his line through turns 11 and 12. The Gort here putting up a sensational battle. He runs wide though. We've got yellow flags in sector 3, and is that Bravo Wolf? It is. Bravo Wolf's lost it, has he? He found a way around onto the grass. I'm not sure how he did it, but there we go. He's lost out as we see now Rockatoni trying to get past the Gort here, and Rockatoni has pitted, remember. He's pitted onto the super soft tyres, and here we go then, into this DRS straight now, into the slipstream he goes. What can Rockatoni do? The Gort goes defensive, going into turn 1. Can he make the move stick, going round the outside into turn number 2? He's left him the space, but the Gort there being defensive. Rockatoni had nowhere to go, had to back out of the move, and this is going to be a battle that's going to hurt Rockatoni for his battle up at the front there, as the longer he stays behind the Gort, the more time he's going to lose. Here we go then, Rockatoni has to keep his cool in a situation like this as the Gort runs wide again, as does Rockatoni. Loses the back end just slightly there, not ideal, as they now head into turn 6, then through turn 7, and then the long right-hander of turn 8, as this could be a move for Rockatoni then. Is he going to try it down the inside? No, he doesn't, stays behind, and is able to stay in the slipstream. It becomes dirty air very quickly, going through some left and right-handers that are very long, and we'll see here, going into 11 and 12, we'll see Rockatoni take some speed out of himself as he loses some time, but they're side by side now, and the Gort had a terrible exit coming out of 12 as Rockatoni gets up into 10th place there, finally gets his way past the Gort, and will be able to try and pull away now with fresher, cleaner tyres. Good move there at the end from Rockatoni. Raikkonen then on the back of Jordy Davey. We'll see here what happens as it's only 4/10 the gap between them. We saw Bravo Wolf took an excursion onto the grass there, so we're not quite sure what happened there as we were with another driver at the time. But we will see here Raikkonen close in on Jordy Davey. And so I get a spectacular voice break there. On to lap 8 then. Darren Sinclair still leads the way from AJ and Chelsea Boy. That's your top 3 so far. And all of them have not pitted. Neither have Jordy Davey, Raikkonen or Bravo Wolf. They've all not pitted yet. As they're looking here to try and go for the one stop. And maybe put on a set of soft tyres to take to the end of the race. Looking at the sky then, there doesn't seem to be a threat of rain around. But we don't have that telemetry in the spectator cam. The drivers obviously do by asking their engineers, so that's a problem. But we'll try and find a way around it. If we see specks of rain, then we know it's raining. So there we go. But we'll see here then, Raikkonen still trying to close in on Jordy Davey. How long are those tyres going to last then? We're on to lap 8. We should be seeing around about lap 10, we're going to see people come in, but as we see Heffy here, as that Invader Zippo has lost out to Rockatoni. What happened there? Was Rockatoni just on a charge here? I think he might be. Jordy Davey comes into the pits then, releases Raikkonen for a good stint, as Rockatoni demands his way past as he's going to try and move down the inside of DK, thinks about it, lets him know he's there, but not quite. No dice there as they round the final corner here into the DRS zone. Already DK's trying to go defensive. Rockatoni here has only one option, try and overtake him down this straight here. Make sure there's no one coming out of the pit lane, as I believe that is Geordie Davey coming out of the pits. He rejoins behind Invader Zippo there, and behind Rockatoni. But Invader Zippo here, side by side now with DK as they head towards turn 3 here. As can they keep it clean? Yes, they do. They give each other room, and Invader Zippo now up into 7th place, makes his way past DK. Very opportunistic move there, and it's worked out perfectly for Zippo. But it's not done yet because he's run wide. Now DK is side by side with him again, and DK's back through. As they're now drawing in the Red Bulls of Geordie Davey and the Gort there. They're going to try and have a look up the inside if there's a mistake, as Zippo runs onto the grass there. Perfect opportunity for Geordie Davey to have a look down the inside. No dice though, and we'll see now DK trying to defend from the Mercedes of Invader Zippo. Geordie Davey and the Gort right behind them. They're not going to they're going to take this battle lying down, that's for sure. As we'll see now the 4 of them head through turn 12 and 13 here, as the Red Bull of Geordie Davey trying to go up the inside of Invader Zippo. He's got a great exit coming out of turn 12. He's now down the inside into 13. Invader Zippo has to leave him the room as they make contact, as Geordie Davey went onto the grass there, which compromised his exit, and Zippo just miscalculated that. And is there any damage to his front wing, Invader Zippo? Let's hope there's not, because we want this battling to go on, as Geordie Davey then moves himself up into 8th place, as Darren Sinclair has lost it. He's gone into the wall. Race leader from the lead of the race has gone into the wall and has lost a significant amount of front wing. AJ then takes the lead of the race, and Chelsea boy, you feel it's only a matter of time before he takes 2nd place. Darren Sinclair has lost out majorly there. Meanwhile then, Geordie Davey on the back of DK. We've also got Himkar here on the attack as Rocket Queen makes his way past, as we've got drama here unfolding. Chelsea boy then, this then for 2nd place in the race and for a chance at a McLaren 1-2. Darren Sinclair though going to defend for all he can, as he's just going to get major understeer going through 11 and 12. It's in the end, it's too easy for Darren Sinclair, for Chelsea boy to get past, and now it is a McLaren 1-2 at Melbourne. Raikkonen here then has a chance to get past Darren Sinclair. Look at the understeer that Sinclair has, and he'll just try and put on the soft tyre and make it to the end surely. Raikkonen goes down the inside, and this is a disaster for Darren Sinclair. This is not how he wanted his title defence to start out, as he'll have to head into the pit lane. He's losing way too much time, and exactly how he did that is unknown. AJ to the P though comes into the pits, so maybe Sinclair was actually going to pit this lap, but he's just lost an amazing amount of time. Chelsea boy comes into the pits as well, and if you pit on the same lap as your teammate, you do lose a slight bit of time, but not too much, as Chelsea boy will rejoin the race then. Raikkonen takes the lead of this race. AJ's in 2nd, Chelsea boy in 3rd, Heavy is in 4th, under pressure though from Rockatoni behind him, and Rockatoni trying to go up the inside as Heavy runs wide, and well, whether Rockatoni was going to leave him enough space there is another question. Rockatoni then aggressively moves up into 3rd place. DK then, let's have a look at this battling going on, as Captain Pants gets himself a 3-second time penalty. Look at this battling going on here. We see the Williams of Bravo Wolf on the back of the Gort here, who is also trying to chase down Chelsea boy, who's just emerged from the pit, and you can see AJ to the P there. There was about 10.1 seconds between them, between AJ and Chelsea boy. You can see there AJ's rejoined in 2nd, Chelsea boy's rejoined in 7th place, as you can see then how much time you cannot lose in a race like this, as we'll see the 3 of them here, the Gort, Bravo Wolf and Himkar, battling over 8th place. It's allowing Chelsea boy to just try and get away. He's on the back of DK right now. The Gort then trying to defend from Bravo Wolf and Himkar. Darren Sinclair then finds himself in 11th place right now, as we've got yellow flags in sector 1, and is that Shug M? It is Shug M, and he's lost a bit of front wing there, and Shug M has retired from the session. Meanwhile, on board with Himkar here is Bravo Wolf, you can see, having a go up the inside, is he? As look at this now, the Gort and Bravo Wolf side by side going into turn number 15 there. Bravo Wolf still on the inside, the Gort has to go around the outside here, and look at this now, the 3 of them going to battle now for turn 1, as the Williams will get DRS here and the Red Bull won't, and this is going to open himself up to the Toro Rosso behind, and Bravo Wolf there, Himkar has a chance here of trying to get past the Gort here for 8th place, as this still won't have DRS, as there's only 1 activation point. He locks up, and you can see Bravo runs slightly wide, and hand in mouth in heart moment there for heart in mouth, I should say, moment there for Himkar, as he locked up there. Geordie Davey then on the back of Heffy. Heffy, who hasn't stopped as of yet, and he'll looking to try and cause trouble to Geordie Davey, as he's on the super soft tyres. He might have to pit again though, as we see Heimkarl run slightly too deep going into turn number 9. We'll see then and have a look for the closest battles out on track. At the moment, it's Geordie Davey and Heffy. May soon become Darren Sinclair and Heimkarl. Heimkarl didn't get a great exit out of turn 12, and Darren Sinclair looking to fight his way back on into the points. Down the inside he goes of Heimkarl there. They're still side by side as they're going to head through turn 14, and nowhere for Heimkarl to go. He can't defend like that. Darren Sinclair there moves himself up into 9th place. Bravo Wolf then on the exit of turn 16 as he'll now head into the slipstream of DK now. What can he do? Will he try and move up the inside here? No, he doesn't. He stays behind for now and will wait for the second DRS zone. Meanwhile then, Geordie Davey on Heffy has found a way past in the DRS zone. Geordie now up into 3rd place. Bravo Wolf then still on the back of DK. And we will have a look here and see what will happen. Darren Sinclair is up into 9th place and chasing down the Gort. You can see the superior pace that Sinclair has, and he's on the super soft tyres, which is an interesting call there. So he's just looking to try and go as aggressive as possible and try and make his way back up through the field through overtaking alone. Bravo Wolf then on DK. This is the battle for 6th place as he's going to try and move down the inside. Is he? No, he locks up going into turn number 9 through 10 now, and DK is got to do a lot of defending against Bravo Wolf. DK, I do believe, has not pitted as of yet. No, he hasn't. DK has not stopped yet. So this is amazing, amazing conservation from DK, managing to keep the car behind. And Raikkonen there picking himself up a 3-second time penalty. As we'll see Darren Sinclair behind the Gort now, and you can see the flurry of cars heading through now into turn 14 and into 15 and 16. Is he going to have a look? He has a look round the outside, not quite though, as we'll see now DK has got a train behind him. Darren Sinclair on the back of the Gort. You can see here Sinclair has a superior top speed. You'll see that down this straight here and past the start finish line. The Gort there has nothing to defend against, surely. Darren Sinclair launches it down the inside and he goes up into 8th place, and the season 1 champion looking to make amends for what's happened earlier on in the race. He moves us up into 8th place. Meanwhile then, Bravo Wolf, is he going to have a look down the inside of DK? He has a look, but he locks up and loses time. More importantly, loses time to Darren Sinclair, who's now right on his tail, and that is exactly what he didn't want. Now Darren Sinclair then has a chance of overtaking, but he's take his time. Bravo Wolf locking up going into turn 6 there through 7, and then the right-hander of turn 8. You'll see here, this is going to be an intense battle. We've got a battle up ahead then. Heffy on Chelsea Boy as well. Chelsea Boy finds his way through up into 4th place, but Heffy's not going to take that lying down. No chance, as the Gort there loses out to Heimkarl. I've got too many battles to watch at any one time. We've got Bravo Wolf here on the back of DK. We have Chelsea Boy trying to pull away from Heffy, and he has done. And then we've got Darren Sinclair on Bravo Wolf going around the outside into turn 13. Can he make that move stick? They keep it clean, but now it's going to be the outside of turn 14, and Darren Sinclair's still there. Look at that. He's got the move, and has he got it done? We've got a Sauber trying to get past as well. I believe that's Raikkonen trying to defend, and Darren Sinclair moves himself up. We'll go now to the Gort and the Sauber of Raikkonen, as Raikkonen loses the back end and goes into the wall there as the Gort tries to defend from all he can. And now we've got a battle here as Darren Sinclair goes up the inside of DK now and moves himself up into 6th place. Good driving so far from Darren Sinclair, but he's not done yet though. Heffy now has to defend from Darren Sinclair, and look how quickly Sinclair's just picking these guys off. He's now up into 5th place. He had put it into the wall earlier on in the race and has found himself now back up into 5th place. And look at the flurry of cars. I believe that's going down to 11th place now. This is now a battle from 6th place to 11th place. We've got 6 drivers in a train. This is incredible stuff. As let's hope they all can keep it clean. We've got the Renault of DK there trying to defend from Bravo Wolf. Bravo Wolf up the inside of DK, and he does make the move stick, and DK finds himself losing a position now to Bravo Wolf as he's lost time heading out of turn number 11 there. Sorry, turn 10, sorry, as he's lost a huge amount of time there. Finds himself down into 10th place as Raikkonen makes his own track here at Albert Park, as Well, DK here had a lot of defending to do and just not the tyre where to do it, as he's done an incredible 16 laps on those tyres so far. But surely now it's time for DK to come in and get those tyres and get rid of them, put himself onto a new set where he can try and push again. Raikkonen then on the back of Himkar. We've got someone into the pits there. I believe that is Heffy, it is. And DK now comes into the pits as well, as does the Gore. They've all been on the soft tyres for a long, long time. Here we go then. Darren Sinclair and Chelsea Boy. Where does this battle seem familiar from? As we'll see now, going into turn number 3, Darren Sinclair on super soft tyres, but something tells me Darren Sinclair will have to stop again. So does Chelsea Boy try and put up a fight now on tyres he can make it to the end against someone he knows who can't make it to the end? But Darren Sinclair here is going to have a go on Chelsea Boy. Chelsea Boy doesn't get a good exit here, and Darren Sinclair down the inside, all too easy, and will now defend going into turn number 6. And then into turn 7, Chelsea Boy just can't defend properly, not on weaker tyres. And Darren Sinclair finds himself now up into P4. There's someone we haven't seen a lot during the race. AJ still leads the way. Tony's in second. Geordie Davey in third. That's your top 3 so far. Meanwhile then, Himkar on the back of Bravo will find himself in 7th place right now, and well, Himkar here has got a lot to do as Raikkonen behind him on the soft tyres, so he's got to be careful. He has to stay ahead of Raikkonen, that's important, as Himkar here is on the defence here from Raikkonen, as Raikkonen trying to go round the outside, and just like that, Himkar's lost the position to Raikkonen there, and instantly loses that DRS advantage. Himkar though is not going to give up. He's still only 2/10 behind. Will he have a move up the inside? He thought about it, but no dice. He doesn't make the move stick. Raikkonen then finds himself up into 7th place and now can try and chase down Bravo Wolf here for 6th place. As we've had a couple of retirements at the moment. White Samba disqualified for apparently reversing off the start-finish line. Then we had Brentford Boy hitting the wall. We had Spark Bobster and Jensen. I believe it was Spark Bobster and Jensen colliding with each other, or was that Jensen and Titian? Either way, we had 2 drivers take each other out, that's what we think anyway, and then Shug M decided to retire and take no further part in the session, decided to just go home basically, as some drivers do when you hit the wall twice or 3 times, just that morale hits you and you just realise that you don't want to race anymore. In the meantime though, we still have 14 runners. One of them is Heffy, trying to go around the outside of Invader Zippo. Zippo clips the grass there. That's not going to help him going into turn number 12. And sorry, turn number 9, sorry. I'm getting ahead of myself, as we see up ahead Raikkonen get past Bravo Wolf there, as we'll stick on board with Heffy here, as this is a battle for 9th place. Zippo there hasn't got good grip going through 11 and 12. Tony pits in for his last stop of the day, as Darren Sinclair sets a 1:25.5. To put that in context, that is 1 second faster than Kimi Raikkonen managed in the actual 2017 race. A whole second faster. So this is good driving from these guys. Bravo Wolf then finds himself in 6th place, as we've got yellow flags in sector 1. Who will that be? Well, we had yellow flags and they're gone now, as Darren Sinclair here trying to close in on Geordie Davey, as we've got Bravo Wolf and Himkar there. That was a great camera angle. I'd love a bit more of that one more often. Anyway, we've got DK here on the inside of the Williams of Heffy, and it might have been Heffy that took an excursion. Heffy down the inside, runs wide though, onto the gravel, onto the grass, and Heffy here has lost all that time again and finds himself down into 11th place. Himkar on the back of Bravo Wolf here, trying to close that gap down. Meanwhile, we have Darren Sinclair on the back of Geordie Davey. And is Darren Sinclair then going to try and move down the inside? This is for 2nd place in the race. And Sinclair here trying to go round the outside, will he? Or he's going to try and launch it down the inside. He's just a bit more patient than I am, as Sinclair here will try round the final corner to get a good exit. Has he got a good exit? Slightly loses the back end there, but in the slipstream it shouldn't matter too much, as Geordie Davey goes defensive down the inside, and Darren Sinclair here goes round the outside. He's ahead before the corner even happens, and Darren Sinclair up into 2nd place. As we see further back then, DK get ahead of Invader Zippo. I believe that was going through turn 13, as Zippo clouts the back of DK there. And has he got damage, I wonder, as now DK finds himself moving ahead now. Heimkarl on the back of Bravo Wolf here, and there are only 3 tenths, about 4 tenths between them. So Rockatoni here could try and find himself trying to gain on these guys. He did pit in from second place, and if he's not careful, Rockatoni will be on the back of these two battling, and they've been battling for a while as well. So we'll see then. Bravo Wolf trying to defend here as Raikkonen goes through. Captain Pants gets another 3-second time penalty. Zippo here is trying to recover his battle from DK, but DK has much better tyres here and will push on. Rockatoni then trying to catch up to his teammate Heimkarl to try and get onto the battle with Bravo Wolf. The Gort there getting himself a 3-second time penalty. As we've got a period of calm at the moment. We'll just have a look on board with Heimkarl at the moment. We've got AJ to the P leading the way. He's about 19 seconds ahead from Season 1 winner Darren Sinclair. Geordie Davey in 3rd place. Chelsea Boy is in 4th. Raikkonen 5th. Bravo Wolf is in 6th. Heimkarl is in 7th. Rockatoni 8th. DK 9th. Invader Zippo 10th. Heffy is in 11th. Gort in 12th. Rocket Queen in 13th, and Captain Pants in 14th place. Let's have a look then. We've got Heimkarl battling there, but we've also got Heffy battling Invader Zippo for the last point as Zippo pits in. And he'll go for a set of Ultrasofts surely to the end of the race. Heimkarl then on the back of Bravo Wolf. Let's see what happens here then, because these two are going to... they've been battling for a while now, and we will see what happens to them. As I was right, Invader Zippo does pit in for some ultra soft tyres. Difficult track here, Albert Park, to overtake at, but we have seen overtaking from multiple drivers, so it's been a good day today. Good season opener, as it's not over yet though. Heffy gets himself a 3-second time penalty. We've got about 10 laps to go, and as AJ will cross the line, we'll have 9 laps left of the season opener. And well, we've got, we'll jump back on board with Heimkarl here, who through 11 and 12 has got a good exit. Now trying to close in again on Bravo Wolf. Easier said than done, and you just got to be careful of those tyres going towards the end of the race. Now Darren Sinclair is closing on AJ, but he's got to be careful. He's got to let those tyres get to the end of the race. At the moment, at this current pace, he's not going to make it. Geordie Davey comes in then, and he'll put on a set of ultra soft tyres, and he will try and blast himself towards the end of the race. So an interesting strategy there. Geordie Davey going for a 2-stop. Darren Sinclair's had to go on a 1-stop. He had to pit earlier than maybe he wanted to, but AJ here still leads the way on the soft tyres. Darren Sinclair in 2nd on the super softs, and it might be a big ask here for Darren Sinclair to try and close the gap. Raikkonen though is trying to close on Chelsea Boy, and he might be doing just that, as he will try and improve on his position. Meanwhile then, Heffy on his teammate Bravo Wolf. Our team order is going to be in effect at round 1. I doubt it. And Bravo Wolf here trying to defend from Heffy. Locks up as Bravo Wolf then trying to defend from Heffy, and you can see Bravo on ultra soft tyres, so he's just trying to blast away now. But has that battling allowed the Gort here to try and get on Heffy, and has that drawn Heimkarl into the mix as well? We shall have a see, as we see Heffy trying to defend from the Gort, but how long can he defend from him as the Gort here tries to fight a way past, but not quite, as Gort stays behind for another quarter at least. Raikkonen then right on the back of Chelsea Boy then. This is the battle for the last space on the podium with 8 laps to go. Into the DRS straight they go, and Raikkonen loses the back end slightly, and that's not ideal. That's not what he wanted, as we will see here. Can he make a move on the inside? No, he can't. We'll switch to the Gort and Heffy as Chelsea Boy gets himself a 3-second time penalty. Heffy here trying to defend from the Gort for 9th place. And Heimkarl right behind him as well, ready to pick up the pieces in case that happens. And Captain Pants gets himself a 3-second time penalty once again, as we'll now Heffy trying to break the slipstream to himself and the Gort, who has DRS, and he's done a superb job of that, as we'll see now going into the 2nd DRS straight. Heffy do a similar thing once again. He'll take the defensive line, but this time the Gort follows him. Going into turn 3 now, and oh, the Gort's overcooked it, and into the wall he goes. Oh, this is terrible for the Gort. And That is terrible. He just lost the back end as the Gort now retires from the session after that incident. Decides not to carry on. Fighting for the points there. And, well, he's lost it all now. Sometimes in Formula 1 you need to just go for it. And unfortunately for the Gort, he pushed too hard and finds himself with nothing at all. Meanwhile then, Raikkonen still on the back of Chelsea Boy. 7 laps to go. And Chelsea Boy here doing his best to try and defend from Raikkonen. Raikkonen loses the back end once again as he's trying to push as hard as he possibly can. And Chelsea Boy here is going to take the outside line, which now becomes the racing line because Raikkonen doesn't try and make a move. Meanwhile then, Heimkar on Heffy. We saw Bravo Wolf lose the back end and into the wall. He went as a double points finish where Williams was on the card, but not anymore. As now, Heimkar here could try and make Williams' day a little bit worse as he'll try and take away another point from them. Meanwhile, Raikkonen still on the back of Chelsea Boy, and well, it's been a heroic effort from everyone out here in this first race of the season. It's always a bit tentative as Heimkar trying to go down the inside of Heffy. No, he doesn't. Leaves it for another time as we've got drivers in new cars. They may all have the same performance, but with cameras and everything, it can be a little difficult. As Heffy runs onto the grass there, that's going to compromise him going through turn 6 and up into turn 7 now into this. As we see, still Heffy leads Heimkar, and Heimkar, is he going to try and move? No, he doesn't, and there we have it, behind for another time, another corner. Raikkonen here once again on Chelsea Boy. He needs to get turn 16 right. He hasn't got it right for the last 2 times there. He's lost the back end both times, and this time looks like he's got a much better exit, much cleaner exit. This could be his chance now. Raikkonen going around the outside of of Chelsea Boy. Chelsea Boy trying to cover the inside line. He does, and will run slightly wide. That'll set up Raikkonen perfectly down the second DRS straight. And can Raikkonen finally find a way past Chelsea Boy? Chelsea Boy still down the inside, and he'll try and defend that inside line for all he can. And Raikkonen here and Chelsea Boy, they make contact going through turn. I'm not sure what turn they're at now. No, they're turn 5 now, sorry. As Raikkonen's here, still trying to get past Chelsea, but he's got a mega exit going into turn 6 now, and they're just drawing in that Toro Rosso of Roccatoni, who is barreling down on them now. This has become a 3-way fight for the podium, as Raikkonen here had his chance, but just couldn't get past Chelsea Boy, who defended for all his heart there to try and keep on to the 3rd step of the podium. We've got about 6 laps to go, I believe, as AJCP will cross the line at any moment now. 5 laps to go now as we head towards the latter stages of this race. Still, Chelsea Boy trying to lead the way, but as Raikkonen trying to attack him, lost him time to Roccatoni, because Roccatoni now is right on Raikkonen's tail, and this could be disaster for Raikkonen. Roccatoni just needs to get a good exit out of turn 16, and he might be able to get 2 positions here if he's lucky, as Roccatoni now rounding turn 16. What's his exit like? It's very good, as he'll open the DRS up now, as Raikkonen trying to close in on Chelsea Boy. It's going to be a 3-way battle for the last step on the podium. Nothing will happen going into turn 1. They'll try and set themselves up here for going into turn 3. Chelsea Boy still leads the way, leading Raikkonen and Roccatoni, as they're now going to try and go 3 wide, are they? Chelsea Boy defending that inside line, and Raikkonen still can't find a way past, as Raikkonen runs slightly wide, invites Roccatoni to try and exploit the gap, and he might do here as they try and head towards turn 6 and 7. Roccatoni, is he going to try and move down the inside? Yes, he does, and into turn 7. He can't make the move work and loses time to him, to Raikkonen and Chelsea Boy, as Chelsea Boy's just trying to let those 2 battle and try and get away. Yellow flags in sector 3 as Chelsea Boy hits the wall. Now, has he got damage? I wonder, as we've got DK here losing a position to Heffy. Meanwhile then, we're going to still ride on board with these 3 here as they're battling for the last step on the podium. Raikkonen then on the back of Chelsea Boy, but he's got Roccatoni behind him as they head towards turn 13 now, as it's a very difficult part of the track this to get right, as heading into turn 14, now 15 and 16 coming up, as we've got a Mercedes there, I believe. That is Invader Zippo. Sorry, it's Rocket Queen. Rocket Queen coming into the pits. He's lost his front wing, and Raikkonen's lost the back end. as he tries to push the car as hard as he can. Rockatoni here, this invites him to come up into the lead pack here. As you see there, Geordie Davey is only at the end of that straight, as they're now going to go 3 wide, are they? Look at this now, 3 wide going into turn 3. Don't end in tears as the Toro Rosso of Rockatoni is forced wide. Raikkonen forced wide, and they've made contact. The two of them made contact, and Rockatoni and Raikkonen just lost the back end. And this is inviting Geordie Davey now to try and take 4th place, which he does. Geordie Davey up into 4th place out of absolutely nowhere. Rockatoni takes 5th, but Raikkonen has to recover now into 6th place, and that is not how we wanted that battle to end. 3 wide going into turn 3 never normally ends well, but for the podium on the line here, Chelsea boy has won it for now, and he can count himself very, very lucky that he didn't get himself collected in all of that. Rockatoni then still trying to chase down Geordie Davey, and Geordie Davey here has got 4th place out of absolutely nowhere. So then, we're winding down here into the last few laps of the race. 3 laps to go, and AJ finds himself 20.2 ahead of Darren Sinclair, who hit the wall early on. Chelsea boy is in 3rd now, but Rockatoni in the battle for 4th place with Geordie Davey is closing. And will Rockatoni try and recover 4th place at least in this race? As Raikkonen here is, I believe he's falling behind. Yes, he is after that. As we did see debris flying there, but I'm not quite sure who it might have been. It might have been Rockatoni. Have a look at the left-hand side of Rockatoni's front wing, as we'll have a look on board now. It doesn't look like it's damaged, but there was a piece of front wing, so I can only assume that was Raikkonen who lost that bit of front wing. As we see now, have a look. It looks like the left-hand side there looks slightly damaged, or is that the right-hand side? Either way, this is an ideal opportunity for Bravo Wolf to try and take P6 away from Raikkonen here, who was battling for a podium. Meanwhile then, Rockatoni still trying to close on Geordie Davey. We'll have a look further back and see if there's any more battles we need to be keeping our eye on. Heimkarl and DK looks a bit interesting, as we'll see how that develops into the last few laps. We've also got Bravo Wolf. Can he try and make a headway towards Raikkonen here? He finds himself 2 seconds back at the moment. Heimkarl there closing on DK. This is the battle for 8th place then, as Rockatoni finds himself closing on Geordie Davey. Under 0.5 of a second now. 2 laps to go in this one, and Heimkarl here is also trying to find himself away past DK. DK not getting a good exit out of turn 12, and this might be all too easy for Heimkarl as he goes down the inside of DK, heading into 13. And has Heimkarl got the move done? Yes, he has, but DK will try and move around the outside. Heimkarl defends that inside line and will get himself ahead and up into 8th place. Rockatoni then still trying to chase down Geordie Davey with only 2 laps to go, as we will see here what will happen between these two. It's been an exciting and fantastic race so far, as AJ still leads the way, and he'll start the final lap any moment now. We've still got a couple of battles to watch out for. Bravo Wolf heading into the last lap of the race is still behind Raikkonen, but only 0.6, now into 0.4 now. Soft tyre versus ultra soft tyre, and there's really only one way this battle could go, as Raikkonen now finding himself falling away from the pace ever since that off going through turn 3 a couple of laps ago. Bravo Wolf here could find himself up into 6th place, loses the back end slightly heading out of turn number 10, as now going through turns 11 and 12 we're just going to have that dirty air as AJ to the P is on his final lap of the race, as Raikkonen runs slightly wide. This is an ideal opportunity for Bravo Wolf. Is he going to try and move down into turn 13? Thinks about it, but does not go through with it. And you'll see here now what can Bravo Wolf do. He's going to try and move down the inside. Again, backs out of it, and we'll now wait till the final. Darren Sinclair's left the session. Darren Sinclair has left the session. His car's now a ghost. Can Chelsea boy close in on him with 12-second gap? Incredible. if Darren Sinclair crosses the line as a ghost, does he get the position? We will find out as Bravo Wolf then just having a check at where AJ is. We need to keep an eye on him because of course he is the race leader right now as Bravo Wolf try and go down the inside of Raikkonen, backs out of it, but he's only got a lap left to do it. AJ then still leading the way as Bravo Wolf trying to get away past. AJ to the B then, who's led through sensational circumstances, will come home to take round 1 here in Australia at SNR. Darren Sinclair's ghost then is being closed in by Chelsea Boy. It was 12 seconds, it's now 0.8 of a second as Bravo Wolf here is going to try and find a way past Raikkonen. As he's going to try and move down the inside now. We'll have a look at Darren Sinclair just to check where he is. As we will have a see as Bravo Wolf, has he found a way past Raikkonen? Yes, he has. Darren Sinclair there, rounding the final corner of the race. He'll head towards the line, and as a ghost, he's going to claim second place here to try and restart his championship battle. Chelsea Boy then comes home in 3rd place. Geordie Davey comes home in 4th, crosses the line there, and we've got Rocker Tony, who did not take the checkered flag, did he? I think he crashed out too early. Well, we'll have a look now. Bravo Wolf will come across the line now. What's going to happen? Bravo Wolf, yes, he goes up into... Yes, Rocker Tony didn't cross the line. The game didn't count him as retired before he crossed the line. He's going to find himself down into 10th place. Oh, this is dramatic stuff now. But AJ to the P here is your race winner for round 1 of SNR. Well, drama everywhere as AJ takes the race win. Darren Sinclair in 2nd place, and Chelsea Boy actually taking 3rd place, I believe, unless anything happens. That was my mistake. Geordie Davey, of course, moved up into 3rd place after penalties. Chelsea Boy 4th. Bravo Wolf in 5th. Heemkel 6th. DK 7th. Raikkonen 8th. Heffy 9th. And Rockatoni crashing out too early. Finds himself with only 1 point. He was in 5th place. Invader Zippo 11th. Captain Panson 12th. We've got Rocket Queen 13th. Unknown in 14th. Shug M in 15th. And everybody else left the session. So what you see is the standings right now, pretty much. AJ to the P leading the way in the championship as we'll now head towards round 2 now. Round 2 will be at China. Of course, it will be next Saturday, so hopefully the video will be up this time next week, I'm hoping. If you are interested in trying to join SNR, maybe as a reserve driver, you can contact Heffy on the PS4. But until next time around, round 2, well, we've got to have another go at that, haven't we? A new season has begun, and it's begun in dramatic style. Thank you so much for watching. I've been Kieran McGinley, you've been watching, and until China, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next time.